Don't miss the next AI wave if you're developing with Swift. I have a very special episode today, and I'm here with Rudrank Riyam, who flew all the way from India and is here to deliver a really special masterclass. If you develop with iOS and Swift, we have a very secret set of rules and episodes that we're going to show you today for how to build apps really, really quickly. And so the way that this boy builds with AI is absolutely insane. And we're going to be cooking today in this entire session. So stay tuned and stay locked and make sure you keep your pants on because this is about to be real, real crazy. Rudrank, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you so much, Ray, for having me.
Yes, we finally got this set up. And what we're doing right here is that we're using Cursor to build an app. And as you're seeing, it's being built live. And we're currently not using Xcode right now. And the app is being built and launching right into the simulator. And so this is code that he's actually been running and he's using Cursor, the latest AI tool. And it's been extremely helpful for actually building AI apps. And in our journey, you'll be able to just kind of tell Cursor what to do, and it generates the code for you, and it just builds it right up. So here we are, boom. It's already up and running. Wow.
The best part when you're working on an iOS app is that you would want your changes to be shown instantly, which is something in the development world called as hot reloading. So let's say if I change the title of my app from meshing to, let's say, Rudy, and then I just save it, and then it will automatically update in the screen itself. And then if I want to comment out some views while I'm just doing some user testing, then I can do that as well. And everything just happens automatically. And then I can redo that changes. And it's much, much faster than when you're working with the Xcode previews. And if you have been using previews, it has been a bit buggy for a while. So having all the hot reloading changes in the simulator itself is kind of magical, especially when you're working with a AI editor like Cursor.
Wow. So what you're literally doing right now, you've just changed our name at the top and it's currently reloading. So if you then what if you just want to remove a button or remove a section? What happens?
So let's say if this is something that I don't want right now, so I can just comment it out and then it would automatically change the thing. And then
stop it right now. Stop. You're literally just killing it right now. This is Xcode. This is not like Expo or some web repo thing. This is actually iOS code and Swift specifically that you're running right now.
Yes, so I'm using this framework called as Inject, and it's actually open sourced, and that has been really helpful. And I got it to work with Cursor as well. And what I have done right now is that usually when you're working with Xcode, you usually use Command plus B to build your app or Command plus R to run your app. But I do not want the context switching between Xcode and Cursor. So I have binded those keywords into Cursor itself. So I just do Command B and run my app, and then I have the changes. And when there are times when I just want to work on a particular screen, I can still go back and use Xcode and just use the previews as well. But otherwise, I'm mostly cooking with the simulator itself.
So for those who are just tuning in, what you can do here is use Cursor as your development environment. So instead of using Xcode, and it sounds like there's a bunch of plugins that you have that kind of assist in getting your code to be built. Because normally you would have to have Xcode up and running. And so the problem is sometimes is that you can't use an IDE like Cursor. And the other secondary part, I feel like, just kind of breaking off to the side a little bit, is the fact that a lot of people want to use Cursor. They want to use Claude Sonnet. And my problem is I have to send code into a web browser, paste it back and forth. There's only so many things that you can actually copy paste. And then there's just tons of limitations. And so what's great about Cursor is the fact that it has all your code and it's running. But if you have it with Xcode, you make changes to the files and you move them around. Xcode's going to be like, yo, I haven't seen your file, bro. Where you at? So in this case, what you've been able to do here is now that I'm just showing your screen, you're showing us the features of Xcode, which is currently going into the indexing, is searching.
So one of the best features of working with Cursor is the code-based indexing. So you can use the embeddings to improve your code-based wide answers. So let's say if I have some question about this line, dynamic type size, I do not have to go back to Google or Perplexity and ask the question. Right. What I can do is just Command L and ask what is this about? And right now I'm using the Claude 3.5 Sonnet model, and Today I learned that it has been 3 months only, and that this model has been launched, and it feels like a year already.
That is absolutely insane that it's only been out so long. And so what you're doing right now, as I move your head off the screen, so basically in the chat, you're just ask it that line of question. You just highlighted it, and cursor is showing that up for you. And so walk me through the plugins that you need to get this set up, because there are a lot of people who are developing right now on iOS, myself included. And I kind of want to walk through. So just walk me through that setup of like, what's the bare minimum I need to get this going?
So the first thing that you need is to import this framework called as inject. So I will just go to GitHub and show the inject framework. It is by a developer who has, I think the heavy lifting is done by Injection 3, which is this app. If I go to so Injection 3 is a project for hot reloading for Swift. And as it mentioned, yes, hot reloading for Swift. And it lets you update the implementation of the functions, and then you have the changes in your iOS simulator itself without performing a full rebuild or restarting your application. That's what we have to do. And if your project is big, you are like, for each of the incremental builds, it will take like 10 to 20 seconds, and then you go to Twitter and then doom scroll and you're like lost.
Yeah. I think that's a big problem. So I think what we also want to do is link this in the repo, in the show notes. So if you're tuning in on YouTube, we're going to have that in the description, obviously. And then for X and those folks who are following, we're going to have some follow-up posts about that. It's also available currently on your blog as well. So like this kind of go through setup. But hot reloading is the first key here, hot reloading. So that's why you make those changes in Cursor. It shows up, and that way you don't have to,
Yes, the first thing is to like add this as a SPM package on Xcode, and then you have to add the linker files in Xcode, which are nothing but a few lines that when I go to my Xcode project, to my build target, then under my project, under the build settings, I have to search for other linker flags, and then for the value I have to write xlinker and like interposable. That helps to identify that this project will use inject framework.
Okay. That's a big unlock there. Okay.
And make sure that your project, like your Xcode, is under the applications folder, and then you run this app injection application. In my toolbar, I have already opened my project. And when you open the app, it will say that injection 3 is running and it's watching the file under your project. And that's the only integration you have to do on the surface level. And if you're working with a Swift UI project, what you have to do is you add, I will just go back to cursor. I'm not.
Yes.
So you have to import inject framework. The second thing is to add this line observe injection var inject a property. And for your view, what you have to do is add this line or a modifier, which is called as dot enable injection. And as the name suggests, it does the hot reloading part. So for each of your views, you can do that. And if you are going to use inject everywhere in your app, it's better to use add underscore exported import inject. The idea is that it will then import inject in the whole project itself. So for each of the files, you do not have to go and use import inject.
Okay, that's really cool, especially for those who are trying to get this set up. So this definitely, if you have been developing in Swift and you may be familiar with the way that Rudrank is basically kind of explaining where to put this. If you're a little bit of a beginner, this can kind of get a little bit lost for you right now, because it's just kind of like, hey, this is where you place the files and so forth. So if you are a beginner, stay tuned, because we're actually going to go through and kind of from the very beginning, start with 0 and kind of tell you through like how we're actually going to put that. So just make sure you stay tuned for that. I just want to pop in and tell you that, because this is kind of, we're just like launching right in, super technical, and that's okay. I think this is pretty fun. And it's always really fun to do a live stream and have our friends kind of stay on the stream and say hello. Yes.
And when you are done setting up the first beginning part, the second thing is so when you're working with Cursor, or you have to build a project, you would normally go to Xcode and then build a project.
Yeah.
And when you are doing it multiple times, it kind of becomes a tedious task, because you are like switching between two IDEs.
Yeah.
What I usually do is use Command Tab to switch between the IDEs, but there's a better option. What I found is that there is this a SweetPad extension that you can find in the marketplace. Extensions or the visual code marketplace, you just search for SweetPad, and then this is developed. The founder reached out in one of the comments on Twitter when I posted about this hot reloading, and that's how I got to know about it. And when I was using it, he was super helpful. So I started sponsoring him and like really want to use it in all my projects now.
That's amazing. Oh, that's such a good idea. That's okay. So SweetPad, and we have the inject framework. And
these are the two things that you basically need, and that's it.
Okay. Wow. And so these, once you install this in Cursor, it's basically installed and you don't have to do any other configuration?
No. So
Okay.
the main idea of this is to build and run using a command line tool. So what you're doing under Xcode is like you're visually doing it with the run or build button, but instead of that, it under the hood is just running the Xcode build command line tool. It's just calling that. So that really helps. And then you can manage the simulators and the devices. Right now, I have my iOS 16 simulator booted up for running the app. And then I can also choose which target that I want to run. I have many different targets, and meshing is what I want to run on. And you can also run the test using this command. You can also debug the iOS applications using code LLDB. And that's basically it. And to take it to the next level, what I did was I went to Cursor and under settings and the keyboard shortcuts. I have started using a lot of keyboard shortcuts, and one of them that I wanted was to build with SweetPad. So when I search for build, I had the keyboard binding set up for SweetPad as Command B, which is usually what you use when you're working with Xcode. And I wanted the same for run as well, but there were so many command using Command R, and it was like conflicting. So I just made it Control plus Command plus R.
That's cool.
It doesn't hurt me that much.
That's amazing. Whoa.
So with that, I'm like really happy with my setup. And when you're working with a new view, the thing that can get troublesome or like mundane is that you always have to mention that you have to add observe injection or dot enable injection into the view, right? So Cursor has another thing that I really like, which is Cursor rules, that you can set up rules for the AI, which is like globally for that particular project.
That's right.
We both have our Cursor rules.
Yes.
So I wrote an article on this, and
Hey. Show me your Cursor rules and I'll show you mine.
So my Cursor rules is it's very simple. Like mine is only setting it up for working with hot reloading, which is like you are an AI assistant specialized in Swift UI development, and you use the latest Swift UI APIs and features, implement async await because I'm done with the completion handlers. What's it called? The callback hell.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. I like this.
Use the hot reloading setup and code structure, and you just copy this and then paste it into Cursor rules. That's it.
I like this. I like it for a lot of reasons because it's very clean. And it looks like you're just going to do some good damage there.
And another thing is you can do is create a folder .vs code and then add it as a file as well. If you want, because as you mentioned, you will show yours, which is on your blog, and you have your own Cursor rules that you have worked with Lou.
Yes. Yeah, these are just kind of.
Do you want to talk
about it? Well, I was just kind of trying to figure out what are some of the best practices, because I was just back in the day used to the MVVM model, so I was just kind of reaching out. I was like, hey, do people still do this? I don't really know. Like, I really don't know. I'm kind of like out here in the middle of the blue, and I feel like it's sort of opinionated, if you know what I mean. So it's like,
oh yeah, man.
And so it's kind of like, oh yeah, people still do their own things, and like there are different people who make noise about each type of thing. So it's just kind of to each their own. And so I thought, okay, let's get it very opinionated here and just kind of say, let's just say we're doing MVVM.
Oh man, that's too much. MVVM?
Yeah. I don't know.
You should use Viper.
Yeah. Okay. No, this is great. I like this type of conversation. That's kind of why we're doing this like podcast style, hangout here on our live stream, and just kind of also going over this type of thing. So I think we should probably kind of get back into the like go into this, and I do want to talk about this as well. Like, you know, what people are doing for development and their development styles. And this, if you're an iOS developer or Swift developer, and who's looking to code AI, I think your workflow is really interesting. And so it would be really cool if you can kind of take us through getting started with like an app or something. So that way we can see you kind of putting this together of like these plugins and stuff that we need, so that we can see how it's configured from the ground up when we get to start there. Yeah.
So I usually like to create a new project using Xcode. So let's go back and do that.
Cool.
We'll create a new project. And what do you want to name it, Ray?
We'll name it Fancy.
That's a fancy name.
Yeah, I like fancy because we're fancy right now. I mean, can you tell like where we're at right now? It's like look at the light on you and your subject and stuff like that. And yeah, we're here like actually in like little office environments and, you know, filming and stuff. And for those who are just tuning in, we're doing a live stream today, basically kind of covering the masterclass here of building with iOS apps and stuff, and using AI to build. And actually, which is really amazing that most people don't know, Rudrank, you actually live in India, right? You flew here in town just for an event?
Yes, I was here for a app annual growth event by Revenue Cat, and it was fun attending a conference that was all about marketing and growing your apps. I learned a lot as a developer, and it just opened a new world for me.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so I've seen his posts a lot online, and I thought, hey, if you're in the area, let's go ahead and hang out and let's do some coding. And this is like a perfect opportunity for us to kind of share, you know, what he's doing with his like cursor environments, how he's hooking up with Xcode. And I have not seen anyone do this type of thing with the hot reloading, because I'm so used to this from the web development side of things, just seeing that. And I was like, whoa, hold on. We got to show people how to get this set up. So this is us doing this today. So I'm just going to see if I could disappear with my head and kind of let you cook for a little bit. So go ahead and cook, my friend.
So we have a new project called as Fancy that I have opened in Xcode. Then we go back to Cursor and open the same project, which is under downloads. And we will go step by step. The first step that I mentioned is using the inject framework. So let's go to Xcode and add the package dependency for this. I think it should be under my latest ones. Yep, there we have the inject framework. We add this package to the fancy target.
Let's go. Stay fancy, my friends.
And then we have set it up. It is already in my project. Then we add the two under the other linker tabs. Where is it? The other linker tabs. I think one is I forgot the syntax. Let's go back and check if I can just copy paste from the repository. It's xlinker on one line. Oops. And then without the double quotes. Xlinker, and on the other line we have interposable, right? Yep.
Oh, in that order. Okay.
Yes, and that's the first thing. The second thing that we have to do is make sure that it is showing up. So we just build the project to make sure that it shows up. And the idea is that we should make sure that inject itself can see the project running or not.
Okay. So you have inject running. You have put the code. You started a new project, called it Fancy, went in and changed the settings in the build, and then now you for real need to actually. Let me move my head and see if you were checking some things there.
So added the flag. Make sure that the new Xcode we unpacked and put it in the applications folder, and we run the inject application, select the project, and when we launch the app, then let's see if we can launch it. Right now I will just launch it using Xcode itself.
Let's go.
And hopefully if I have done everything right, then in the debug console we would see that it is watching the files under this app. and I don't think it
I
has.
see hello world. Yeah.
No. Under the
Okay.
executables.
Oh, okay. Let me kind of move you a little bit. Just move the phone to the right just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
So I don't think I see those command under the flow if everything is configured correctly, which we have.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what we have done wrong. I don't think I have done anything wrong. So let's go back to my project. It should only be done for the debug flag because we don't want to do it for the release one.
Okay.
And I make sure that we are watching the fancy project, and then we'll just try and run it again.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to import? I don't think we have to import the project, but still, let's see.
Hmm. And you relaunched it, I think.
So let's see if I start to add inject in the project itself, and how does that work.
Okay. That'd be cool.
The thing is, when I'm using this completion model from Xcode itself, it doesn't work that well.
Okay.
Like you can see that it's creating an environment out of the blue. And let's see what happens when I go and do it in Cursor itself.
That's interesting.
Oh, so does it? No, that it's creating some view model in itself. So we'll just copy it from the repository itself, and then at the end add the .enable injection. Yes, the Cursor tab is much better than the, and it's unfair to compare both because the Cursor tab is using it's not on device versus the completion model that Xcode provides. It's on device.
I see.
So it's the compute power that we are kind of comparing. So
Got it.
These are two different things.
Yes. Okay. That's a really good point.
And let's try to run the project again.
Run it.
So now that you can see that, let me just zoom in a bit, that injection 3 is connected for my project.
Okay.
And it is watching the files under the directory, which is my project itself.
Got it.
So
what did you have to change or /fix so that people who are running into this can make that same change?
So it's kind of funny that because the idea is that you do not have to make that change
Okay.
in the first place. So it's not that a change, something like that added to make it work. It's like that was the second step to make. After that, we make sure that the lines are there.
Okay.
I don't know what went wrong, but it works.
Yeah.
So the main idea is that you add, like to summarize for everyone who's watching, add the linker flags, make sure that your Xcode is under applications folder, make sure inject is running, and it chooses your project directory in which you have the Xcode proj file. Then when you have configured everything correctly, it should show the logs that I have right now, which is like it's watching the files under the directory. And then you start adding inject framework and work with it. So now I will just make my window stay on top. And when we go back to Cursor and make some changes, like the best part of Cursor is that I can kind of select a bit of code, then Command K to edit it, and give me some like things that I can write about. Like give me a prompt, Ray.
Well, I think it's the unoriginal thing is making Flappy Bird, but I saw this. Okay, so here you go. I want you to make a Telegram clone. And the way that this guy did it is that, or like just at least the UI, and he used the @web because they went to go reference web examples of what this looked like. But what if we just...
let's start with something very simple. Like let's have a scroll view that displays something.
Yes.
Write a view to display a list of... As a beginner, we are so used to doing to-do apps. So to do our example and then just submit the edit.
Let's also ask some people in the crowd because I know that, wow. Oh my God, did you see how fast that was?
And then we accept it. And when we save it, we should hopefully see the change in the simulator itself. Yes, that's the power of working with hot reload.
Stop it. Stop it right now. Stop.
So this is a very small example, right? And it's not something that it makes you make like go wow, but let's take this example.
But typing that out normally, even with Xcode completions, takes a long time. And right now, Apple does not have their own AI that's released, right? Like that.
Yes, it is supposedly supposed to be released, but we don't know when. Swift Assist.
That's right. And this, did you see how fast that was? We created something so fast. And so I think about like, you know, various apps and things. And so I want to have something that's just really simple UI where like it's like a little drawer at the bottom. And so I want to hit a button and just do like talking to a mic and record something. And this little drawer comes up and it just kind of, you know, lets me like type in or make changes or write something in my quick journal and just kind of flick it away. And I'm thinking about it, you know how like you have a deck of cards, you can kind of flick it and stuff like that. I don't know, it'd just be kind of interesting to play around with views. I don't know how good it is at Swift views, but it'd be really interesting to see if we can have like some type of scrollable view that's very unique, like with cards or something like that, so that we can kind of interact with it. I like the zooms of ins and outs. So like if you have like a grid of stuff and you tap something, it just kind of zooms in and zooms out. That'd be kind of fun.
So for that, what we can do is use another feature which Claude offers is called as the Composer.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's right.
We will open the Composer by Shift Command I. Oh no, I think it's just Command I.
Command Shift I.
Command Shift I. No, Command I opens it and in like at the bottom.
Yes.
Let's just open it in a full window.
Yeah.
So now in this file, we will see everything that you did.
Oh, I see.
So I'll say I want a view.
So like I want a gallery view. So the gallery view is basically like for reviewing photos. So like in the MKBHD panels app, he has these like scrollable things. So we want a better version of that. So I want a gallery view that I can just scroll my artwork and I could just tap one and it zooms in nicely. And then like I could flick away and it zooms down. You know, it's like, that'd be kind of fun. Just like, that's what makes iOS magical is that you can grab the image and flick it. And it just, after you flick it a certain way, it just, you know, goes back down or whatever. So, but the concept here is that you're like basically, you know, flipping through these tiles and then when you tap one, it zooms in and then zooms out. So you have a sense of where you are in this like 3D space, if you know what I mean. So let's see if it can cook. This is the fun part.
So,
I wish, I don't know how to type that prompt.
So let's take your words like, I want a gallery view with grids and that has an idea of wallpapers and we'll just stop there. It should just scroll the artworks on the screen. And when I click on a particular artwork, it should zoom in. And then I can flick it away and go back to the list of grids. And I just submit this. Let's see what we have. It's generating for us. Certainly, I will create a gallery view. And then because...
So our friend Brad says, bro, turn on autosave so that we can see it refresh live. Do we want to though? I don't know.
I just like... make sure that, so let's like on this content view what we have. So I will just go a
Wow.
bit
Damn.
on the code side. So certainly I will create a gallery view with a grid of wallpapers that allows scrolling, zooming in a selected artwork, and dismissing it when it returns to the grid. We'll use the SwiftUI lazy V grid for the gallery and create a custom view for the zoomed in artwork. And here's how you can modify the content view that we have. And it implements the gallery view, tapping on the artwork, and it opens in a zoomed view, and it like giving it how you're using it.
Wow.
And on the code side, I will like do nothing, and all I will do is just click on this accept all button,
Let's go. Just YOLO this.
and then it will update all the code work. I like to do the manual command S so that it works well. And
Yes, this is definitely easier to create mobile app UI. It's kind of the reason why instead of going to build with like Expo or some other framework that I see online, I'm actually really tempted to play around with this.
so for some reason the changes did not go well. So
Bruh.
let's go back to Xcode to see
Bruh.
what happened.
Bruh.
It's not always the best thing, right?
I know. That's why we're doing this live. I feel like people have to see
Yeah,
the
it's-
real thing. We just can't hype, This is not hype. This is not. By the way, we are not sponsored by any of these
But
people.
yes,
So like
we
disclosure,
wish.
full disclaimer. We're like they got the two of us on the screen right here. So it's like we're not sponsored by any of these people. No one's sponsoring us. We are doing this because we love software, making software coding, and we feel like this is an important time in our lives to connect with you as the audience and show you what the real deal is. No hype. Let's build an app. Let's just cook. So I'm gonna let you cook.
So whenever this happens, it's usually what I do is go back to Xcode to see. That's the only time I would context switch to see what happened actually in the debug console, and I can see that it was throwing some errors while evaluating the changes, because it was a bit more changes than it could handle.
Yeah, totally.
With the framework, that's one of the shortcomings, and it's okay. That's how it is. And what I will do is just run the project again and make sure that let's just first open the terminal command again. A new terminal window. We'll run the project again on cursor using the fancy target.
Let's go stay fancy, friends.
And I will use and right now I'm using the SweetPad extension, and then it will help me use what target that I want, the simulator that I want. And for some reason I have only iOS 16 left because my MacBook has ran out of storage. So I just kind of deleted most of the
That's crazy. Bro.
simulators.
We got to get you. So for anyone who wants to donate, they can hit your @ symbol to get you a new Mac. Let's go. Oh, it's actually going to build it. Let's go. Is it building?
Yes,
Yeah.
so it's executing the command.
If you build it.
So we use a different tool, XCRun, for installing it into the app itself, and then it's launching it.
Okay.
And I think we have to wait a few more seconds so that it can actually launch the app into the simulator itself.
Okay.
It's always a time where I feel like, is it actually working or is it actually not working?
Right,
Until
right.
it actually works.
Until it doesn't. It's like, come on, bro.
Come on, bro, please.
Let's go. Let's
If we are live stream.
let us cook. Let us cook. Well, I feel like it's so good to just walk through these workflows because not everything's perfect, and some stuff will mess up for some people. And just watching you go through this is teaching me a lot, just as a person who's trying to build software and stuff.
So we are getting this error again. So I'm not sure why this error is coming, where is it is coming from. And what I can do is try to understand what's happening. And
Oh, that's a good point.
a bad access to the memory terminated the process. Where's this bad memory coming from?
Oh, actually, you're currently in Xcode, and that's telling you where. Okay, I was wondering, does Cursor have a similar debugging type of feature for those plugins as well?
So it does add a debugging console, but it does not give you the exact things that you want when you're like
I
the
see.
errors. So
Yeah.
I was going to the repository of SweetPad, and they have been working on something
Okay.
to get the debug and error working with the cursor itself, but
Right. Okay.
I haven't had a chance to like try it out.
Okay.
So these are the kind of, so there's no images found because we do not have those images, and it's not taking anything from the internet itself.
That's right. That's right.
Because we can kind of
maybe tell it to make some placeholder images. Is probably why. Yeah.
And
I can get you some placeholder images from MKBHD's app. Hey.
So in these cases, so let's go back to cursor and let's see where we have the image code, right? So
why don't we just tell it to use the @web in the composer to get some. There's actually places on the web where they actually have like example images that are hosted that you can just call as a URL. There's like people images and all kinds of stuff. So there's probably, and also like public art stuff. So you can just say, please use any of the public repos to, fill in, get some of the URLs to fill it in as examples.
But cursor does not have access to the internet itself.
It does, yeah. If you do the @web symbol, it goes to the internet, and then it's like your version of Perplexity. Yes, bro.
I'm so glad I got to know like TIL moment.
Yeah. No, that's why we have to build together. We have to be online. We have to share. We have to do this because I'm discovering stuff through you. I got some sauce. You got some sauce. But let's just let's cook. Let's go.
So I see that we have this for each sample artwork, and let's just...
Yeah, we could just back in the composer window. Oh, I see.
Yes, these are the sample artworks that it is giving.
Oh, perfect.
So we go back to the composer window, and I just say that @web.
Yeah.
And please get me some sample wallpapers to use directly.
Let's go. Yeah. And then, see? Free HD wallpapers. It's got the whole thing,
We don't have to watch an ad.
No, bro. It's like Mountain Landscape, Unsplash. Yeah, Unsplash. Yes. There you go. Like license or what like these are... Let's cook.
So it has given me all the artwork that I want.
Nice.
And use this directly into the app then. I'm not going to copy paste it now.
Right. I'm surprised it didn't do it for us already, but maybe it just wanted you to review, which is kind of smart. Dude, you're really cooking right now.
I really like Yes, it's adding the images.
So now I've blown your mind with the whole @web thing. So that's sauce.
I think I can do much better now that I know this thing.
Bro, I'm telling you, like that's how you @web, and you can just go grab this example on @web and just it'll search for you. Yeah, let's go. Just run it. So what do you do? Once you hit Command S, it starts to... Oh, no, you haven't hit Command S yet. It's just applying.
Yes, so I just like...
Okay.
I closed the window before it was even applying, so that's why it got cancelled.
Okay.
For some reason, it's happening again. So let's just go back to the composer. We accept all.
Save all. Hit save all. Yeah, on the right. All. Yeah. And then you can do reapply all right there on the bottom right. Up to the left. Oh, if you hit reapply all.
Oh, yes, it did. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sometimes you have to hit save all and then reapply all several times for it to do it. This image trick is new. Holy moly. Yes, Prashad. It's definitely, just go to the image.
Okay, so it's not like that. I was the only one who was like, didn't know about this.
It's new. Yeah. It's mind blowing, especially for prototyping and placeholder. Let's go. Let's see. Come on. This is about to be fancy. We only do fancy here. I'm so ready for this right now.
So that's one thing, like when hot reloading is not working, it's not the end of the world itself, right? What you can do is like instead of, so when you're working on a particular screen and you want to iterate on the design, there's something in Xcode that we use called as previews. It's not that.
Right. Yes.
It's finicky sometimes. It's not the best out there, but
Okay.
it gets the job done. And when you get lucky, it works. Like it when it works really well. When
Got
it does not, then you should just close your laptop.
Oh, interesting.
So-
Brad is loving how we are getting wallpapers literally from Cursor Chat. I mean, yeah, that's
It's HD quality.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, HD, let's go. I mean, it's unsplash, so it's totally possible. You know what I mean? Sheesh. So, wow. Whoa, bro.
So this is what I do. Like when the things, so it kind of works the same way. So
Yes.
what I would do is like have this on the previews. I do not use Xcode. I use Cursor on the side so that I can get all the AI features.
That's right.
And for some reason, I can still see one placeholder image because of this failure. And it's the image that has failed. So we'll just try and reload it again just to make sure. I think it's the
Wow.
second link that's failing. For some reason, we can just.
Oh, I see. Oh, there's
get-
certain images that are failing. Yeah.
Yes,
gotcha,
we'll
gotcha.
just get rid of that. When I save it again, the previews will update automatically.
Wow.
And then that we have got
Jesus.
rid of these images. But what I'm seeing right now is that this it's not pretty.
It's not fancy.
It's not fancy.
Come on, man.
That's not how we roll, right?
No.
So what we can do instead is like go back to our lazy grid, and we see that we use this artwork thumbnail. And when I look at the images, I can see that it is using the aspect ratio of fill. I do not have to use AI for this. I can just say aspect ratio dot fill
Okay, that makes sense.
to like just fit the content, and now it looks much better.
That's hot. Okay.
I can also get rid of this frame and see how it works. And now it's like much more fancier, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I see this.
And another thing we can do, what else we can do?
Well, I wanted to, so when we tap it, it would zoom
yes.
in
So-
and like zoom out and stuff, and have this kind of cool, like this flow to it. Yeah.
So right now it kind of,
Low key.
it's not that good. So the thing about knowing how to code is that I know what, like the thing that you want is
Right.
out there in the iOS 18 APIs.
Oh.
And Claude has only access to till 24. But
Right.
now, after coming here, I know that you can use @web.
There we go.
Let's see if we can do
Cook.
that. Cook.
Yes.
Using the latest API.
Let's go.
So I will just click on this code, the content view, edit it, and then ask the web, please. Does it matter if it's capital or not? I don't
No,
think
it's
so, right?
it's if you see the lowercase, I think it's lowercase. Go back to @web. Yeah, there you go. And hit enter. Or, yeah.
It should be like
Okay.
highlighted, right?
Yeah.
And then, so I would just say, please use the latest Zoom transition API from Swift.
And if you have the
Swift UI?
transition name, like whatever the name is in the camel case or whatever, that helps guide the model to use it and stay. Yeah.
I don't remember the name, so
that's
I'm
okay.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
hoping that it can find it on the web.
Let's go. This is gonna be hot. If it could do this,
Then it would be fun.
yeah, dude. Then we could just keep cooking like super fast.
So it does know. Yes, I know this code. So
Wow.
yes, and then we can. It actually got rid of the Zoom artwork that it
Let's
was using,
go.
and then we accept all the changes. It will load the thing for us again.
Oh my God. Think about how much time you're saving now. You used to go to the web. What is that?
So it failed to build scheme. What happened?
Hmm.
Missing argument is zoomed. Okay, it was my bad. So instead of using Composer, what I did was just have that particular code selected, and I made the changes in that particular code.
Oh,
So
I see. Yeah, that
the
makes
zoomed
sense.
artwork view was still hoping to have that assumed view that we were using.
That's
so
right.
I will just use Composer again.
Yes.
And just say that
Finish the-
please update the whole code and get
And
rid
use-
of is zoomed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's hot.
So it does not make any change on the content view because
Nice.
that's where I made the changes. Then in the zoom artwork view, it get resolved the is zoomed or the previous logic that we had. And then when it's done
Let's go.
finishing in, we can just accept all the changes.
Sheesh.
and then you close the window. It has automatically updated the previews, and previews has been really working well for me. So I'm very happy about that.
That's wow.
So this
Dang, look at that. That's gorgeous.
and so it's still using
Yeah,
this kind
it's
of
like a white view. Yeah,
Yes, I don't want that
like
white
a masked.
view.
Yeah,
So the thing is that when you move around, it should really
yeah.
do better. And
Just tell it do better. Claude, you need to do better. So use the latest style guidelines from Apple and iOS 18 and just see what it does. Just like very generic.
I do not want it to have that navigation style of view where I see the back button.
Mm-hmm.
So please get rid of that while still using the matched transition. And I will still say that I want to use @web because
Yes,
because
exactly. It has to. It doesn't know about the context of
exactly
what all the stuff is. Yeah, it may get rid of your code and be like, "Hey, I don't see this. It's not."
I don't think I understand that you want. Then it went back to the previous implementation.
Wow.
So AI is still not.
Oh,
has
maybe
these-
we have to use a cursor rule so that it sticks to it.
Like do
right.
not make any changes to what I had before. So I will
Yeah.
like reject the changes that it
Yeah.
made.
So,
And
yeah, we may have to add that as a cursor rule too. Like if it doesn't know to use @web to look up, you know, the like, so they can use the @web thing. Yeah. Huh.
but still use the new navigation. So in these
Transition
cases,
in
instead
iOS
of
18.
in iOS, so in these cases, what I
do you
do,
have to tell it iOS 18 or is it just?
I think because I'm using @web, it should
Oh, okay.
like kind of make sense of that.
Okay.
It has done the navigation bar hidden in the navigation transition itself.
Okay.
I don't think that's how it should be, but let's see. I think we do not have to do the navigation destination itself. So, and the main idea of working with, so it got rid of the
bar,
but
yeah.
it still have the idea.
Yeah.
So, what I usually do is like, I feel like I'm kind of wasting time.
Oh, I
So
see.
the idea is not to like be totally dependent on cursor itself. I know that I can use the web myself, and what I would do in
good
these
point.
cases is just search for this transition directly in the Apple documentation and see how they are working with it. It's usually just, it does not have any examples. So
I'm gonna step on out for a sec. I'll be right back.
So my friend Peter here has some examples, and you add the match transitions to the navigation destination. So now, because I have been coding with Xcode, and so I know what I have to expect. So instead of using a navigation link with a destination there itself, I would just instruct it to use, please use the navigation destination instead of passing it directly as the directly into the navigation link. And then I submit the edit. I hope it understands what I want, and it kind of does. So let's accept that change and see what we have. So this view is not the image itself, and so I can just pass in the artwork and not the zoom artwork view and see how it works. It's still giving me the whole image. I do not want that image directly. Let's go back to the article and see what we can do. So it is also like passing the same thing, and it's passing the source ID with the same namespace, and I think we are doing the same. So what are we doing wrong that I can do better? We can add a clip shape Let's see if that helps. Mm-hmm. If I just use the clipped modifier on the image thumbnail, let's see what happens. It's all about exploring and seeing
So
what works.
what have you cooked so far?
Man, it's still the same thing. I'm
We're kind of stuck.
kind of stuck.
Okay. That's interesting.
So for a bit of amount of time, just let's have it the way it is.
Yeah.
What else do you want in the app?
Oh, I see. You like it with this type of thing? I think it'd be kind of interesting if we just add a heart. Like if you'd be able to like basically kind of make an Instagram type of thing, so it's like bookmark or like of the photo,
Uh-huh.
so just be able to either double tap, like if you're scrolling, just double tap one image and here's a little like heart or something like that.
Got it. So in that case, so let's go back. So let's try if we can still use the simulator and it works well. I will just directly run from cursor itself.
Okay.
So my idea, the next thing that I want to show is working with multi-files. So I will instruct cursor and the composer to use and create a tab view kind of environment where we have, when I double click on the image, then it will have another view that's like for favorites, and then it will automatically show in the favorites. And when I like double tap again, then it will like unfavorite and remove it from the favorites. So that kind of environment. So it's like they're slowly building the app from a single page app to a second page, then a settings view, then something more fancy, maybe a whole social media, maybe for another live stream.
Yeah, that's right. No, that'd be kind of fun, like for you to do that and stuff. For those who are just tuning in, basically what we're doing right now is that we are cooking with Cursor iOS, and we've basically started off the stream with a workflow to kind of get people started on like the hot reloading thing. And so the problem with building with Swift is the fact that you have to use Xcode. You're not able to use a lot of the iOS features, a lot of the AI features directly in Xcode right now. And so one way that Rudrank has figured out is to use a couple different plugins. As you see, this is still in like the very early stages. So if you're trying to build with this, there's going to be a lot of back and forth. But like there's caveats. So if you're trying to build this at scale and you're trying to move really fast as part of like a bigger team, this is probably not something you want to roll out right away. Definitely keep beta testing. But I feel like if you start playing with this and getting feedback, just like the way that Rudrank you've been able to do, that has been a big unlock for having these plugins continually to be developed, and us even talking about it and sharing this is just bringing more awareness to this environment. It's like how basically underdeveloped it is. But this is the good time to actually start doing this. And we're doing this live, so that way you can actually see, the AI do things. Even coding with AI in general, like how things are broken, but how important it is to actually know how to develop software, and then start to, see if you can. There are certain parts of this workflows that we can learn to use to our advantage, right? Like the fact that you made a big quick list view super fast. Typing in a few things is really fun, but then when we're trying to use new things that are currently not trained by the models, that's where a little bit of where there's a hiccup, right? Because we have to kind of tell it to go to the documentation. Is there a way to add the documentation in? Do you have that added into your Cursor?
I think there's a way, but I don't remember. Like we can.
Yeah, I could show you. Yeah,
we will explore that later. But
yes, that's right.
That's another thing on the list now.
Okay, so that's cool. Yeah.
So what I'm doing right now is that we have a new composer for this new feature that we want to work on. So I would just type it out quick. So now earlier we would kind of write the code ourselves. Now we are just writing the prompt. And the idea is that I want a tab view and with the first tab showing all the wallpapers, and that was my command. And the other tab with favorites, when I click on one of the images, when I double click on one of the images, it should add it to the favorites. And if I double tap again, it should remove it. I think that's good enough prompt for us. And
Let's go.
let's see what
I
we
just
have.
love how it just spews out the lines of code super fast. It's just like so fun.
The code is still, rest of the code remains unchanged.
Oh my
Good.
God, look at all those changes.
We just click on accept all.
I'm going to remove my head so people can see what's going on here.
Because there was a lot of changes. Even though my machine is slow, I'm very lucky that the previews are working nice, because the simulator is not helping me today. So now we have all the changes. When I double tap on each of these items, you can see it added a heart icon.
Wow.
And then when I go back to my favorites view, it should have that in the view, right?
That is amazing. That's so... Wait, just in one prompt?
It's just in one
Bro,
prompt,
come on.
yes.
Get out of here. You are like an expert prompt engineer right now. You just like literally prompted your way into a feature.
So for some reason, we can see that
Okay.
it's loading only the placeholder view,
Right.
and
But not the actual favorites themselves.
it was loading it for the first image.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not.
Can you ask the code in Cursor and see why?
So let's like try to debug it. It is failing to load the images. Do you know why? Maybe it's because we are running in the previews itself, but I don't think that's the case. For such stuff, I am so used to doing edit command K, I should not have used it.
I see.
And
I
it
see.
will do an overlay of the error now. Like what's the error?
I see.
And even for this case. Okay.
That could be helpful. Oh, I see the favorites go away. That's right.
So now it was able to get the images and
Could it have been a bug?
error
Oh, no.
cancelled. So I think
Cancelled.
it's kind of a...
Oh, it's actually a legit error.
So we will open Command L this time for chatting with my code base and say when I favorite the image, it says error cancelled. It's because how it is doing the image calling function.
You got canceled, bro. Don't be doing that. Cursor canceled you. It says, nah, fam. Hit the apply button. Yeah.
I'll just click on the apply button, accept all the changes.
YOLO. Bro, I feel like this is like this is AI in the era where, if you've seen that video where that dude from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I forget, is it Will Smith, is eating pasta and it's AI generated and like the pasta is coming out of his beard and like doing some really funny like things. I feel like we're in that era right now with code for iOS and AI, where like sometimes it's really good and spot on, and sometimes it's just like, yo.
It's a bit of challenge, I have to agree. So in these cases, what I usually do is, it hurts me as an iOS engineer that I'm facing these challenges and I cannot take it on my ego, right? So what we do is create another new composer view, and I'd say that we would want to use a third-party library for handling the images, because that would help us build on that. So we'll say at web, thanks to you, please use SD web image for dealing with images.
That's a good point.
I think the challenge that we would kind of face is how it adds this package, it would ask, we have to manually add the package to the folder, but what it has done is like it has imported that SD web image Swift UI for us. And then you can see in the artwork thumbnail, it's using the web image instead of the Swift UI's native async image for us. And it has already applied all the changes while we were just talking about it.
Wow.
Now it would give us a error because we know, because we have not imported this framework into the app. So I will go and add it as a dependency because it has already given me the link to it. And we've added to a target fancy, and then we'll try to run it again. So sometimes when the previews do not load, let's see what error do we have. Oops. Oops. I think it got it wrong. So we'll
What do you mean? AI is perfect, bro.
So we will go back to this web image and say that your implementation of working with web image seems to be wrong. I am getting errors for the placeholder and subsequent modifiers. I appreciate the confusion. Previous load. So it is still giving me some errors. Let's see what happens if we just get rid of it.
Oh, I see.
This placeholder was a problem. And it worked. Okay, we open the previews again, close the composer view. I'm just hoping that the previews work in our favor this time.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So this is what happens usually. So I actually created a whole app because of the previews problem, because I was working with mesh gradients and it wasn't working well. And I was like, I wish I had an app that it can, like, I don't have to deal with all the previews.
Wow.
So when I click on the favorites,
Okay.
and so when I click on the favorites, then it would show in the favorites, and I click on this. Everything that can go wrong in the live stream is going.
I mean, that's the whole point. Like, this is as raw as it gets, ladies and gentlemen. Like us, I mean, that's why we do these. The whole point is just like nothing's perfect. We're building it. How we run into the issues, what we're trying to fix. We're hoping that you can learn something from this, and definitely appreciate everyone who's been able to pop in and so forth and drop some comments. Appreciate everyone. So Prashad's also asking, ideally, I'd actually like to know how to add documentation in the cursor. So that could be a really cool one.
Yeah, let's try that afterwards.
Cool.
So I kind of fixed that problem. So it was adding this gesture for, I don't know what reason. So I kind of got rid of it. And another thing I do not like is how the images are not equal. And
I see. Yeah, different sizes. I think the URLs have different sizes in them, but like you say, that should be held in the view. It should take them in and just automatically resize them, right?
But it's good enough for a first start. So let's jump to the second part, which you got us excited with, is adding the documentation.
Oh, right. Yes. So I think you said iOS 18 has documentation already up. Okay. Yeah, just go to any of the URLs that you see. Like find it on Google or whatever you have it. Yes.
So let's go back to some documentation that's actually documentation. So navigation transition, if we go to this navigation transition, we see that we do not have much information about it.
Okay. So you can go to a high level documentation thing, and it will like basically recursively go through and try to get the other stuff. But yeah, get something you do want for sure, and then that you feel like you always use all the time, or you always have to keep referencing. And then like let's just grab one of those things and we'll cook.
So does it only have to be about Apple developer documentation, or can we use some
Anyone, blog post, anywhere on the internet.
So let's go back and use this blog post that I was reading about working with hero animations with the navigation transition.
Okay. Oh, perfect. So yeah, so get that URL, make sure you copy it. And then what we're going to go ahead and do now is just go ahead and cook. No. If you go into, let's see, cursor, if you go to the gear at the very top right there. Yes. And then from there, you're going to have scroll down a little bit more. Yes, there's, features, my bad. Yes. And then from there, no, is it?
Docs?
Oh, yeah, docs.
Add new docs.
Add docs, exactly.
Got it.
Yes.
So it's kind of a RAG model, right?
Exactly. So what's going to do, it's going to index itself, and then it'll tell you all the pages that it's able to index. So within that, basically that's how we're going to be able to, like know exactly what specifically it has indexed so far. So
I have a good idea of how to use this now. So let's take our app a bit into the AI world.
Okay.
So what we are going to do is, instead of using these images from Unsplash, we are going to generate it using a Flux model, which is like one of the popular ones out there.
I love this. So just for the users who are out there, we're going to basically use an AI model to go and generate our sample images for this app instead of going out to get them on the internet, which, we've kind of had random look here. So, that's awesome. So how are you going to do that?
So I usually use this Flux model, which is extremely cheap. I think it's around 340 images for $1.
Wow, sweet.
And there's this website called as snellai.com where you can generate these images for free. And because we want wallpapers, it can be in the ratio of 9:16. And give me a prompt. We can just see how the wallpapers look, and then we will use some Swift code to integrate into the app.
Yeah, what's that one where it looks like futuristic, but it's retro, like retro futuristic, dark with neon lights or something?
I'll just put it on the keywords.
Yeah.
Oh, they have done a credit system now because people were abusing it.
Oh, no, probably, yeah.
So we have this neon Tokyo kind of vibe.
That's kind of cool. I like this vibe. That's chill.
So what we are going to do is that we are going to make our lives easy and use this package called as AI proxy.
Oh, yes.
It is something that I usually like to use. It's like the safest way to add AI apps to your iOS app. So when you are dealing with, so just to mention and add a disclaimer that we are not promoted or like we have any affiliation with AI proxies, just that we love using it. And like I have been using it in my apps for a few months now. So with AI proxy, the main thing is that it will help you. So when you're working with any of these AI models, you have to provide your own API key as a developer. And if you just have it on the client side code, I can just sniff it out and use that API key in not in my own apps, but just like someone with bad intentions can use that API key and make you broke.
Exactly. They can take a lot of your money. We have a friend of our show who that happened to him. And before OpenAI set up a bunch of these extra types of
precautions,
things.
like the read limits and everything.
Yeah.
So what you usually do is set up a proxy model where you send your request to the proxy server and you do not send in your key, and that server has the key, and then that server communicates with OpenAI with your prompt that you send, and then uses that key, and then it will send the response back to you.
Perfect.
So it's like a middleman.
Yes.
But setting that proxy in itself is a bit of an hassle.
Yeah.
And that's where like AI proxy comes in and helps you out, that it will do all that complicated cloud functioning stuff and building your own backend. They take charge of that, and all you have to do is just set up your API key in minutes. The main idea is that you have half of your key,
Yes.
they have half of your key, and when you send the request, they kind of merge and then send the request further to OpenAI.
Perfect.
I have already logged in and have everything set up. I will just copy the code from my previous projects.
Perfect.
But the main idea of working with it is that I go to resources and use an OpenAI sample app, and I will use this AI proxies replicate.
Nice.
And I think what I want to do right now to use this new documentation thing that you told me is we'll go to the docs and let's see if they have the docs for Swift examples. They had some really good docs here. I think this is what we want. Does this have replicate? Yes. So we are going to use replicate as a model for generating the images, which has that Flux null model. And the first thing is that you add this AI proxy project to your app. So we will just paste this into the project itself in Xcode.
Sweet. Nice. So that link you had for Flux, you can use for free, that previous website?
For it's like 5 credits.
Oh,
for
it's
free,
5.
Yes.
Okay.
And like there are sites like Fal AI which provides $10 for free.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And $10 like 3,000 images.
Oh, that's
So
amazing. Yes.
that's like I have already gone through them because I was generating my own model.
Yes.
And that took all of my credits. But if you are like create a new account, I think they still have that offer. No affiliation, just some information. Then you initialize it. We will not do any of these stuff because we want to use the documentation that Ray taught us, right? So we
Exactly.
go back to cursor,
Nice.
click on the settings, go to features, and under docs, we add this new doc. And then it takes the AI proxy and we confirm that.
Interesting that the other one did not index for whatever reason. You can hit the refresh on the first one. Yeah.
So this red dot means it's like,
Oh, index.
it was,
Yeah, okay. Of course, perfect. And then let me move your head so I can get the... Okay, AI proxy screen now. Sweet.
Yes, perfect. So
Wow, that was fast.
instead of, we are not going to focus on that. I will add my keys later on.
Okay.
Just let's see that if this works well or not. We'll open the composer again, create a new one. Please use... we are not going to access the internet now, right? Because we have...
Well, you could if you want. But yeah.
We have the
Oh, I see.
documentation.
Yeah. That's right.
Please use AI proxy to set up working...
And then you have to call it with the @ symbol. So you can do the @ and then...
at doc?
Yeah, docs, and then select AI proxy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can say, please use @ AI proxy, whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. To set up working with replicate
Yes.
Flux schema
Perfect.
for loading the images instead of the sample wallpapers that we have.
Yes, that's perfect. This is going to be nice. I'm really curious to see how this goes.
Certainly.
Certainly, of course. But of course.
Of course. So it has the replicate service. It's
Wow.
working pretty well.
Yes.
It loads the artworks.
Dang.
Replicate beautiful landscape wallpapers.
Wow.
Number of outputs. Takes the outputs, takes the URL. Oh my God.
That's from his app. That's nice. Wow.
Everything remains untouched. Remain mostly untouched. We accept all on the code. We close this window. It will not work as of now because we have to provide the partial key and the services.
That's
Let
right.
me go back.
Yeah, I could change the view so it just like looks at us or something on the camera, so that way you can.
No.
Okay.
The thing is because the best part about using these the services that because it's only half of the key and the other half is with AI proxy. So
That's
even if
right.
you have half of my key, you don't have the half of the key from AI proxy.
Right.
But
Yeah.
still, just for the precaution, we can
Yes.
do that.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, I just got rid of. Oh, you can see on this. This is basically the view we have right now.
Yeah.
That's live.
So cursor view.
Let me know when you're ready and I can pop it back.
Perfect.
Cool. So I'll pop you back in.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2.
So it's failing to build the scheme. Let's see what error do we have here. Extra argument num outputs in call. So it is using the replicate Flux pro input schema, and I wanted it to use a Flux null. I think it was my bad that I did not mention which model I wanted it to create. So that's something on my end. But so in these cases, what I usually do is, I'm so used to reading the documentation that I would just open this definition and see what they want. So there's nothing as the number of outputs. I think
it could be hallucinated.
It is hallucinating in this case. I think the input schema, what we want is this replicate Flux null input schema. I should have mentioned it before itself. It has the num outputs that you can see. So it did hallucinate.
So check this out. What you can do in Cursor, if you do the Command-Shift-I thing, they have this thing called a notepad. And the notepad you can bring into like chat windows and stuff. So right there, create notepads and create one for this specific proxy repo and just copy some of that code from that project. So that way it'll have it in its context. And so just say, just give it that class or whatever the thing you were talking about for. So every time and then you could just say, and then just put that code in from, paste in some of the snippets from Xcode that you were referencing. So that way you can just use that as a reference to build it out for you. Where that's gonna go.
Perfect.
And then
I think now the number of outputs is maximum 4 and not more than that, because I've read the documentation.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It uses the create. So in these cases, because I know what I wanted, what I would do instead is just use, in this case, it's better to use Command K and just say add doc and then use AI proxy. Please use Schnell, nothing else. And if the documentation is correct, then it should have worked well in this case. And then the num outputs, it's 4. And then let's go back to Xcode. This is the context switching I usually hate. And so now we have another problem, cannot convert the value of type URL to accepted string. So we are actually getting URL in itself. So we do not have to use this line because it's in URL. So what we can do is just use URL. And it's not a optional value, so it would just work directly. And open the preview again. Okay, so when you're working with AI proxy, it has this one level of integration that we have, which is this proxy thing itself. The second thing it has is a device token that it gets.
That's right.
So when you are working with a real device, it will take the device token and then send it as a request to make sure that it's an authentic request. It's not like something that you're making from a web browser. So when you're working with a simulator itself or a preview, then it gave me the exact error that if you are using an iOS simulator, please use the integration guide for adding a device check bypass token.
That's right.
So for that, I have to go into the schemes and do that. For this, you can kind of
I
blur my view so that I can just add it quickly.
Yes.
So the documentation for this is pretty easy. I'll just copy it from one of my projects and
perfect. Yeah.
So these two are the only things that you have to do. So you have to go to your build settings and add a bypass token that you get from the dashboard.
I can blur our view. Is it still blur? You still need it blurred?
Perfect.
Okay. I'm just going to blur like the screen. Screen is blurred.
So now we can come back.
Okay.
Oh, no. I need to.
Okay.
Let's do it again.
Oh.
Now, 3, 2, 1. Let's go back and
Okay.
see the magic.
Do you want me to blur the screen or no?
So like you can unblur the screen now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. My bad. Yes.
So now we have
Sensor.
everything set up. We'll just open the previews.
Okay. Ooh.
And now we have the
Wait.
beautiful landscape wallpapers that we have generated using an AI model writing code with AI.
Bruh. Look at the screen. Look at my face. Bro, this is crazy. So these are generated right now. Is it that's not using that prompt yet, right? We're just generating the images.
So we use the prompt beautiful landscape wallpapers.
Oh.
So give me another prompt that you want.
What was that neon? Futuristic.
Oh yes, futurist. So
Retro
see this
futuristic.
one thing. So
Yeah.
when I say future,
Yeah.
it would give me an auto completion. Futuristic city with flying cars.
I see,
Let's try this.
And then do.
Oh yeah. You have
Wow, that's so cool. That's insane. Oh, so because it's doing a hot reload, it's sending those over to him real fast.
Yes. So it's like costing me.
Yeah,
But it's fine.
it's
So
okay. You have infinite money, right?
I wish.
Yeah, make sure you hit the super stickers or something if you're on YouTube right now, and make sure you hit that stuff. Right. So basically, what we're doing is just a little bit of context here for everyone who's here. What we're trying to do is just building with Cursor and AI, and trying to use that as much as possible. And there are some workflows that you can use that, and then some of the flows where you're also including Xcode in this. And we're just trying to see how far can we take this right now, given the current state of Cursor and what's going on with Swift, because there's no AI that's available inside of Swift as of this very moment. In the future, that may change, but Apple has yet to tell us anything about that. And so what we're trying to do is trying to find better ways to build using Cursor because they have Claude Sonnet built in. The current way of doing that right now, if you're just using Xcode, is to just paste your code right into right into Claude Sonnet as a web app, and then go back and forth and copy and paste and manually diff the stuff, which is a pain in the butt. The advantage that Cursor has is the fact that you can actually, in the editor, just do everything. It replaces the code, have conversations, have some chats, replace multiple files. You can add in documentation in the way that we've been adding that documentation in, and it's so super nice as far as saying, hey, this is a new implementation. iOS 18 just came out. Please use this. So that's just something that you can do that we've just covered. And so we're just continuing to just have these app ideas right now, so that we're doing sort of an app build out of just generating some images and then playing around with a gallery view type of thing. So that way we can have our own competitor to having a panels app, which is basically wallpapers for your phone. No upcharge here. This is going to be completely free. And by the way, we are not sponsored by any one of these people. This is just us coding, sitting down, hanging out with you late night on a Friday night, because what better place to be than to get your club jacket on and sit down with us. And we really appreciate you joining in. I think this is just really cool for us to be able to code, and appreciate everyone who's been able to like and share to get this out to more people, because we're just trying to experiment and hopefully get other people involved and see if everyone can start kind of contributing to this community to make these changes and stuff. That's my public service announcement for today.
So another thing that I wanted to explore is that, building a bit on this wallpaper app, is that the images right now are in a 1:1 ratio. And I was trying to get the simulator working again, but
Okay.
it feels like today's not my lucky day.
This stuff happens, right?
Uh-huh. So what I was saying is that
Oh, yes.
in the input and output, let's see if I can pass, and can I, do I have to mention the docs again and again?
So this is where we can start a composer window. So if you do Command-Shift-I, right? And
Even
then,
for a few lines of changes.
oh, I see. Yeah, you can do
I
think
think I have to do that.
you have to do docs, and then if you know the name of the docs, you can just type in AI proxy, and then it'll just know, it will automatically reference that. Yeah.
Please add a parameter for aspect ratio and make it, was it 9:16?
Ah, got it. Yep.
Because we want a wallpaper.
Yes.
So it threw us an error. Argument must precede. Oof.
Okay.
That worked for us.
Yes. I like this.
And because we are using dot scale fit somewhere in the app, it's not big enough. I think we have the spacing as well, which I do not want. I don't know.
You need like a 0.5 on that.
That was
Or
too
20, yeah.
much.
Yeah, you kind of want it to like take up the whole screen without it.
Yes, the scale to fill, but I think that would be too much. Okay, let's.
Or create a whole Z thing, yeah. Dang. Oh, and that needs to be a 16:9 as well.
I do not want a frame on this.
Mm.
And then add a scale to fit.
Yes.
Right.
Interesting.
Perfect.
Yo,
Exactly.
Okay, let's go.
Exactly what I wanted.
That's
So
hot.
now we have an actual wallpaper looking like app, and we cannot. I do not want to call. We do not want to call it all way wallpapers. So we'll just say fancy.
Yeah.
And another thing. So right now, when I double tap, so when I click on any of these wallpapers, it opens up.
Yo,
on
that's
screen.
hot. Yeah.
And for some reason, what's this?
This is
thing?
great that you.
So how do I bypass this limit of 4? What if I wanted 16? I make 4 requests, right? So what I want, what do you suggest next? Do we want categories of different kind of wallpapers? One is for futuristic neon lights, or something is like retro.
Oh yeah, I like this categories option, so that you would select the category and it would just kind of like you scroll through and you can see the categories. Yeah, that could be cool. That could be really cool, actually.
What do you think we can build on this app so it looks like a really nice app to like work with?
Well, let's see. If you scroll and then you currently have the favorites, right? And then you can currently now, if you tap one, it just loads the image, right? Full screen. And
Another
then-
thing I can do is when you let's on each of the image, let's add a button to save it to
Yes.
our photo library.
Exactly. Yes.
Right?
Perfect.
So we'll go to Composer, create a new one. Please. I always like to say the word please.
Yes.
Just in case we reach a Terminator kind of age and
Exactly.
Claude 10.5 or 5.5 remembers that Rudrank was a very
Yes.
nice Indian guy who always used the word please. So we can spare him for now.
Prashad also says get the prompt directly from the app itself so the user can prompt it.
Oh,
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
That would be another thing
Yes.
that we can work on. So
I like that.
please add a button on the bottom right of each wallpaper so that we can save it directly to the photos library.
And then you can reference the proxy repo as well so that it would call that code. But I don't think we need to, right?
For
Yeah.
this case, no.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what it does is in the artwork thumbnail, it adds a button to save image and it uses the correct SF symbols for that. And it asks us to handle the errors or like example show and alert.
Let's go. Can we cook? Let's see. Let's get fancy. Can you get fancy with this?
So
Oh my
now-
gosh, that's great. Look at that.
Yes. So the previews will crash. Of course. So the reason for this is not because the previews crashed. So the idea is that in your apps info.p list, we need to add a, what's it called? A permission
That's right.
that we are asking for photos access. What is it? Photo library usage description.
Gotcha.
Please let us
Cook. Just say that. Yeah, please let us cook. Yes. That's so on brand right now. Let's go.
and
Let's go.
I'm actually not sure that if it works directly in the previews itself.
Let's see. It should.
It does not directly works in the previews. So I think we have to use the simulator and see, because in simulator it will definitely work because
Yeah.
it will show us the alert for allowing us access to please let us cook.
Yes,
and
that's
then go and then go from there.
Let's cook, my friends. This is what we do. Just cooking live for you. So funny. This is great. Oh man.
So when I click on this button, it would say that Fancy would like to access your photo library with the permission. Please let us cook, and we allow for full access.
Yes.
And now
I wish you could change those allow full access to just like let's send it or like full send, you know?
And in the photos library, we see that we have this wallpaper already there.
Wow.
And then what we can do is
Oh my God. That's nice.
click on the share button
Let's
and
go.
use as wallpaper.
Oh my gosh.
And we have your futuristic city with flying cars wallpaper directly on the app. It does not work on a simulator like this option because I have already tried it on a different app.
Right.
Working on something else, but I know it works.
If you deploy it to
On a
phone,
real device.
Yes. Yeah. Or
I'll
Vision
show it
Pro
to
or
you,
something.
but
yeah. No, that's cool. Wow. That's I mean, that's amazing. Yeah. It'd be so cool if people can just prompt or select a handful of prompts and stuff.
So
Oh, you know what'd be kind of interesting? So like, you know, how you did like the revenue cat thing. And so I think it'd be fun to have some like pre-programmed prompts, like the new neon futuristic where it can generate variations of neon futuristic. So if you keep hitting that like category or style, so instead of directly just showing us, it will just show us moods or something, or show us categories. And you click that category, it's going to generate images, right? But then if you want to unlock it for paid or something, that's where you can just have it. So you pay some money and then people can type in whatever they want, right? So that could just be a premium feature. It's because, you know, we're trying to make some money, right?
will we ask for $50 a month of a year?
Yeah. I think we can probably do $49. I think that'd be very reasonable to generate your
will
own
definitely, yes.
I mean, you know, you can buy $50 and just not know what you get. So then you can say, okay, if you pay $100, you can actually get what you want. But paying $49 just still generates random images that are AI.
So,
No? Okay. That's my pitch. That's my VC pitch right now.
so let's go
Let's
one
go.
by one. Like, the feedback that we got is like
So casual.
adding an option to let the user have the prompt. So right now what we are doing is we are kind of hard coding the prompt itself in the code.
That's right.
So we will open a composer view, and I always like to have a new composer. What
I was
about
gonna
you?
say, yeah, same. I was gonna say every idea, every feature, usually new window, new context, new documentation that's relevant. So that way I kind of keep it focused, and that's exactly what I do.
Where the user can prompt and then it finds the image instead of a hard coded prompt.
Let's go. Let's see it cook. Dang. Whoops.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Just revoke it later on. accept all the changes.
Is it just going to hot reload us?
It did not. It crashed again.
Oh, that's right. It crashed earlier. Dang.
I don't know what's happening.
Swift. Do you Swift, bro?
So the size of the value type changed. You cannot inject changes to memory layout. That's the problem that we are facing.
Where are you injecting changes?
Like the view got much more bigger than what we had.
Oh, yes.
So that's one of the shortcomings. But still, we have the previews to depend on.
Is that actually a plugin issue? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not related. It's related to the hot reloading stuff. So now it added the prompt window on the top. It's not good UI. I was expecting better, man. But still, it's good enough. So
okay. Yeah, retro, neon, futuristic. San Francisco. Oh yeah, maybe.
Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
I think it got stuck because of that crash that we had earlier. No, it's not.
So while you figured that out, Prashad is asking about notepads in Composer. And so basically what notepads does is allows you to kind of coalesce your ideas. And so what I use notepads for specifically is more for allowing me to just kind of put my thoughts into there. You could put in documentation, but I always keep things very, very succinct and very short. So if we're going to work on this prompt feature, I would just create a new notepad and say, hey, I'm working on prompts. And then you would just dump in anything that's relevant for that to get done. And then you just go and then start creating, new Composer files and various things. That way it kind of speeds up this whole process of like making sure your feature does land, but doesn't break everything else. And you also save kind of the context and getting the LLM to focus and achieve the outcome that you want. That's kind of the way to do it. And what's nice is basically you also contain, so what Cursor does is whatever you're doing in your environment, see all your git commits, every change you've made, files and lines that you've deleted, even though you haven't committed them, those are still in its context. So it's going to, by putting things in like different composers or creating a new chat, you're kind of setting a different context window for your actions and what you're working on. So it tries to figure out what you're working on and what you're going to be working on in the background. And that's just kind of a better way to do that. This is just me from what I've read and seen. I don't know the exact implementation, and it would be kind of fun to have some folks from Cursor to tell us that. So yeah, maybe next time I go to the meetup, it would be kind of fun to see that.
So now I have the simulator working with the retro futuristic neon lights. And when I click on generate, it should generate some neon lights, kind of pretty wallpapers.
Oh, wow. Dang. Those are nice.
Yep. And this is the benefit of...
at San Francisco.
So San Francisco.
FARANCIS. FRANCISCO.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
San Francisco. Let's go. Generate. Noise.
Where did it add?
That was really fast, by the way.
It has gotten much faster than the last time, right?
Fast. Yeah,
especially for 4 photos, man.
I was like, dude, that was like instant. Are you sure it's generating new photos?
With tagline, because I wanted to write something.
I see. Golden Gate Bridge, maybe.
It's not getting what we want. If we use the other model, then I think we can, but it's like 10x more than the price.
I see.
So let's use futuristic golden gate bridge.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I like this.
What's futuristic? It's already futuristic.
Yes. Yeah.
And you can just say Cyberpunk.
Yeah, Cyberpunk. Exactly. Yeah. I like this.
2077.
Yeah.
Yes, this is
Retro.
almost there.
Type in retro one more time.
It's a word of keywords.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see. Bruh. Oh my gosh.
Tokyo neon. I don't know what I'm talking.
Let's just keep going. This will be fun. This is where it gets really creative.
So
wow.
It added this. So I'm not happy with this. What's happening on this view? So we can kind of improve that. So
yes.
While we're creating this app, we also get this idea that this can be this whole generate button. Like we can just take it from here, and then because it's putting it directly into the tab view, this is not something I want.
Right.
So what I can do is just move it. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Finally it worked.
Whoa.
Did you see?
No, what happened? Oh, the reload, the hot reload.
Oops, let me just close the window. So,
Yeah, you're good.
perfect. So now let's try something else. And now it's working well. And what was the second feedback that you gave me?
Oh, I think he was saying, yeah, so the user wants to type it in. We have, I think, like a paywall, right? So like that. We want categories. So we want to have like pre-filled categories for certain things.
Let's start with an inspiration button.
Yes.
Like,
Yes, exactly.
because it's a new feature, we'll have another new composer view.
Yes.
Please add please add a button with call as inspiration, and it will provide us with unique 10 different prompts for creating beautiful, gorgeous wallpapers.
Let's cook, friends. Let's cook. Yo.
So we have some,
Oh, wow. I like this. Dang. It even came up with the prompts themselves.
Yep, and it also created an inspiration view for us.
Oh my gosh.
Now we
Oh.
are at a point where we're using the multi-file composer.
I see.
So now we have saved everything, and we have this inspiration view now. And because the best part of this is because we were using the cursor rules before.
Ah, okay.
It has already added the observe injection and the inject framework and enable injection on the view itself.
Oh, nice. So while you told it to compose, it did compose it following your cursor rules, which is what we're using specifically for
Yes, for hot reloading.
Ah, look at that. Okay.
And another thing I want to mention is that these files in Xcode do not usually show up. It did. So that's a new thing. Like, remember the script that I mentioned, right?
Right.
So earlier we used to have this structure called as the group structure.
Right.
And now we have the structure of folders in Xcode 16.
Oh, okay.
Which can automatically detect the changes that you're making in cursor.
I haven't updated yet, so I mean.
So like I've seen in some of the other live stream folks, what they're doing is that they're manually adding the files.
Yes.
I created a script for that because when you're working with Xcode 15,
Yes.
then it will not automatically detect the files, and you will have to like manually do it or like create a script for it.
Right,
But
right,
in
right.
Xcode 16, it automatically detects that, and you do not have to like manually add it back in Xcode.
Oh my gosh, what a big unlock. So Xcode 16, worth
Makes our
updating.
lives easier for working
It actually
with
does?
cursor,
Okay,
yes.
okay. I'll do the update. I've been hesitant because once you go forward, it's a hell going back sometimes.
So let's see where we have our simulator.
That's awesome. Move here. So just with that one prompt, it generated all this code for adding a new feature. And the feature we're doing is basically an inspiration view. And so the inspiration view gave us example prompts and just did all the things for us. Yo.
But that's the thing, because for now we have to, when you're working with a new file, we have to build the project again.
Oh, right.
Because it added a new file, and
Got
it
it.
cannot understand the new file because it wasn't there before the build, right?
That's right.
So we will use the command that the extension for rerunning use the command for rerunning without using Xcode.
Okay.
So there's no context switching, and it's like
And this is what launches it into the simulator.
the simulator itself.
Got it. So you're using the simulator to preview it, basically.
Yes.
And it's already building it as a real app.
And while we are working on the simulator, and if we want any changes in the inspiration view, then we can use hot reloading for that. So it has added this inspiration button, which opens all of these kind of inspirations.
Wow.
Use this.
Geometric patterns inspired by sacred geometry. Let's do that. It's like the middle to the bottom one. Keep going. And
Which one? This one?
1, 2, 3, 4 up. Geometric patterns. Just go down.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Yeah. I want to see this.
And then we click on generate.
Oh, is this device token? Oh, did he get rid of it? I thought that was baked in.
Let's see what happened there.
I can change the views.
The device token is still there, so
Okay.
I'm not sure what happened.
Oh yeah, we're using a simulator. Okay, yeah. Let me know when I can change it back.
So while it's very easy to show that working with cursor and everything is easy, it's sometimes not.
No. Yeah.
Especially building apps is hard, and as much as I want to sugarcoat it and make it sound like it's easy, it's not.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a really good point here for those who are just kind of following on the stream. We're basically just coding with iOS. We're coding with Swift specifically, and we're trying to make some AI apps really right now. And at the very beginning, we're just kind of walking through a workflow that you had basically set up. And so the workflow basically involves just, a couple different plugins that basically do hot reloading so that you can have the app hot reload right in the simulator, and that you kind of avoid using Xcode for rebuilding every time, which can take a long time, especially if you have a slow machine. And so that is an interesting unlock there, but it does require a lot of setup right now. And you actually have a blog post for this that details for those who are wanting to get set up and all the different tools that you need. And I thought, my friend here flew all the way from India. So if you don't know, Rudrank Riyam basically lives in India, has flown out to San Francisco to collect your award. And so tell us a little bit about that.
So I was doing this hackathon by Revenue Cat. It was called a Ship a Ton Challenge, and it was like a 45 days event. And during that event, what happened? So can you put us both on the same screen? So I just trying to see what's happening with the device token while I still talk about my journey. So during that event, what happened? So it was like a 45 days hackathon, and there were 3 awards that we had. One of them was most likely to win make money award. Another one was on a design award, and the last one was something related to build in public. And in that build in public challenge, the idea was to build in public. So I worked on this mesh gradients app because mesh gradients were launched in iOS 18. I just wanted to see how much I can take it to the next level of working with mesh gradients. So when I started out, I did not think I would get much feedback on the app itself, but I did got an extreme lot of feedback. And one of the coolest feature I had was this thing called as meshing AI, where you would just write a prompt and then it will find the colors and the exact points that would make it a beautiful mesh gradient.
Wow.
And iterating on the system prompt took me some time, but I got it well. And I enjoyed working on that app. And because I went out of my comfort zone, I recorded one single video every day as a vlog on like what did I do during the day. And after the first week, I got into this pressure that I have to do something, like ship something every day so that I can have something to talk about at night. And
Wow.
it worked well. I won the cash prize, and I won this award that, so Revenue Cat marketing team is kind of cracked is the word.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So what they did was they found the creators of the Grammy Awards, and they asked them to create the Shippies Award.
Wow, that's crazy.
And that was one of the perks. And the second perk was that my app is right now being showed in 150 billboards across San Francisco.
Oh, that's
And
crazy.
I was just sitting there like waiting for my flyer to come out on my billboard so that I can take a selfie with it in the morning. And
Yes.
it was a lot of fun working on that app. I learned
Amazing.
a lot. And I think during the last 20 or 30 days, I was mostly using Cursor to get my new features built in. And yep, that really helped to get into the momentum of shipping a ton.
Oh,
And,
okay. Wow.
Like facing the camera as well.
Oh, that's cool. And then here we are on the live stream after the event and stuff. But
And we have got everything working.
oh, you want me to switch it back?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Here we go.
The thing was, I don't know what the thing was. All I had to do was rerun.
Oh, rerun. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's probably a build cache or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh my God! Wow.
I use this inspiration called as the serene Japanese garden with cherry blossoms that got me this.
Let's go to geometric patterns.
Yes,
inspired
let's
by
try this
Sig.
again. We click on generate, and then we get the geometric patterns.
Wow. It's fast, dude. This is crazy.
It has gotten really fast since the last time I used it.
Dang,
Man.
dude.
This
I love this.
Aurora
Yeah.
Borealis dancing
Yeah.
over snowy mountains. I have no idea why would it have that. It's too. Oh, that's good.
That's amazing. Click one of them. Yeah. Dang, that's nice.
So there's some view layout issues that's happening that we
Yes.
can like work on as a
So
next thing. But
yeah,
let's
so
see.
check this out. Cursor now has the ability to upload multiple images in a composer view. So you can tell it to fix certain layouts views and just give it like like several screenshots and say like, this is what I'm seeing once I tap in. Can you fix this? Just give that. Yeah.
So let's take a screenshot of this
Yeah.
and open a new view, a new composer view, and we will add this simulator image that I had. I'll say you can see that. I hope that it can see
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
The layout is a bit messed up.
Please follow the Apple style guidelines and the design principles from, I'll say, yeah.
On the image,
Yeah.
I want it to go full screen.
Yeah.
So please follow that.
Yeah. Sweet.
So what it does instead is that instead of when we tap on that has the
Yeah.
zoom transition, now it will open a full screen cover, and then we can click on a close button to like dismiss it.
Nice.
So it's like a different way of working with it.
Yeah.
It's good enough.
I see.
And
I tell it that you want it. No, don't accept it. You say, this is great, but I want it to feel very intuitive and very modern. And I also want it to follow Apple's design guidelines. And then it should be simple and easy to use. And then you can at the very end just add @web. So they will try to look for Apple's style guidelines and pull more context in for this. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's not highlighting at
Okay.
web when you're following up.
Yeah.
I want it to be intuitive and follow the Apple guidelines.
Let's see what it pulls up.
Certainly, let's refine the design to make it more we'll focus on simplifying the interface, improving the navigation. So it has changed a lot of the code now. There's some
Let's let it cook. I mean, why not, right? So the way I'm approaching it is more less of the engineer guiding it and more of like the, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm coming in at it and just letting AI do the thing. So like, instead of forcing it and saying, hey, just get a little more creative. Let's just see what happens, you know, and just kind of giving the, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but we'll see.
So because we made a lot of changes in the code,
It just broke.
crashed.
Oh, I see.
So we'll try to just rerun it again.
If you build it, let's go.
So what it has done is that it has added a progress view, which was something we were
like
missing
that.
before.
Yes.
It also added an empty state view, which we did not had before. When in the empty state, it will say, what does it say? Like enter a prompt to generate the artwork. So it's like making it a much more sophisticated app than what we had before.
Yes.
Like trying to follow the guidelines by
Exactly.
Apple.
Yeah. I mean, they write great code, so they have very high standards. Yeah, a lot of people. But like, I think for folks who are watching, those are just some of the keywords you need to pick up to put into your app. If you're going to be building, just say, hey, make sure you follow the Apple style guidelines and then hit the at web, and it's just going to go out to the web. Another keyword I like to use is like follow the design principles of Dieter Rams. So for those who don't know, a lot of Apple's design philosophy stems from some of the great designers in the world. So a lot of the great designers at Apple studied Dieter Rams and those types of people. And if you look at those images that Dieter Rams invented side by side with Apple products, they nearly look identical. It's kind of amazing. Obviously, Dieter Rams, designed a lot of stuff for Braun, and there were a lot of home appliances. But those forms and those factors of things that had a lot of influence on these designers, and all of those things go into the design ethos of making things very simple, functional, and usable, and trying to take away a lot of these abstractions. So we're hoping to get some of that in from the AI into our app, so that we can kind of pull that in. Look at that light bulb. That's funny.
It has added a navigation trailing bar for the inspiration view.
Yeah.
So we'll just try and use this one. Then instead of using the word generate, it is using a symbol instead.
I see.
To follow the guidelines of Apple. And now we have much better views.
Wow.
And when I click on this, it's
still yeah. I like this little pop-up view that
yes.
Yeah. What's that called again?
It's called a sheet. So what I want for this sheet is, like, I like this sheet view, but I would prefer, instead of using a sheet, it can use full screen view.
Okay.
And have a dismiss button on the top.
Oh, okay. Or flick it down?
So the thing is that when it's a full screen, you cannot flick it down.
Ah, okay.
Because you can kind of...
see.
So we can do that as well. So
yeah.
let's use the composer view again.
Yeah, let's enhance this by adding full screen view.
Yes, instead of using sheet, use a full screen cover. I'm like familiar with these terms because I have been developing for half a decade using SwiftUI. So that's another advantage of like knowing how to code and using cursor.
Yes. And also tuning into our live stream so you can get this information. Like these little tidbits are here. And if anyone is interested or is really good at video editing, hit me up, because there's so many good little nuggets from all of our streams that I feel like, we need to pull those things out and just get it to the people. Like this little prompt examples and stuff like this, exactly what you're saying. These exact keywords that people are using, or how we run into those problems and fix them and stuff. So good. Maybe in the future, some AI system is just going to do it automatically. It would just like, you search for it and it just like pulls up what our little conversation is all chopped up.
It would be amazing. I can see it has added a drag gesture. So it would do some calculation that, and then if I drag it, I think 100 centimeters, 100 pixels points, then it would like dismiss the screen then.
That's hot.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's see.
I like this composer view, how we just kind of kept going and see how, like for those who are following along at home, it's kind of just the flow. It's really good. So we're now at 421 people. Let's go. 422. Let's go. If you're liking what you're seeing, definitely hit the like, hit the share, retweet. If you're following on X on YouTube, definitely share it with a friend. just let people know you're watching so that other people can join in on the fun as well. Definitely appreciate it. It's really great that you've been able to, hit the little thumbs up and get this out there for more people to see. And what we're doing right now is basically coding with Cursor and using Xcode and also just doing some Swift development, which is really fun. So you get some hot tips. And give it the screenshot and see if we can have Cursor fix it. Like this view does not look right and does not meet Apple's guidelines.
Yeah.
Tell it to fix it. Yeah, give it a screenshot.
So what it does is that it dismisses this thing before it actually dismisses the whole view.
Yeah.
And let's see.
But even just the full screen view looks ugly.
The thing is, it looks ugly not because of the full screen itself.
Yes.
It's because it's trying to fit the content.
Yes. Yes.
So I know where the problem is, but if it's because it's fitting, and if I add ignores safe area,
Oh, got it.
then I think it should do much better.
I can't believe how fast this image generation is. It almost feels like it's baked in. Jesus, that's so fast.
It's still
Yeah.
does not have this. Yeah, let's just ask it to fix it for us.
Yeah. Give a
And
screenshot.
for this,
Oh, I was going to say, you go back to Composer and just give it the screenshot of that view and then just tell it what the problem is. Like, hey, I noticed that, this is still doesn't look like it's up to Apple's design standards for this. After and tell it what you did. So like I clicked an image and I'm in this view and it's still not into Apple's design standards. And then just drag the screenshot in. Yeah.
So let's do this geometric patterns again. Take a screenshot of that. Another thing I noticed is that I added a favorite button here and the save button here, which is nice, but as you mentioned, it does not look good enough
Yeah.
for Apple.
Yeah. It doesn't look so Apple-y.
Yeah. We are going to say that. See what you did.
I guess I tapped the
I tapped on
it generated
one
image.
of the images and it does not do full screen of the image, nor does it look like it is following Apple guidelines.
And then space.
Please fix it.
And space at web. Yeah. At. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. Okay. Cool. So now she'll be able to look up some stuff. Yeah. There we go. It cooking. Let's go. I am Don says, dude, see what you did? Please fix it. It was me the other day. I think that's what happened was that OpenAI, Claude Sonnet's API was down. So everyone was using OpenAI's endpoints and they just got lazy. Yeah.
Like you have to specifically be very explicit that please don't lazy.
Yeah. It's so painful. Yeah. What did it do here?
So what it did was it made the dismissal more smoother. It adds an overlay for the controls. It hid the status bar as well.
Oh, okay.
And the zoomed artwork takes the entire screen, including the safe area.
Let's go.
And now it should work.
That's how we cook, my friends. Just have it do it all at once. Let's see. The moment of truth.
Please work. Oh, yes. I'm very lucky that the previews are working amazing today.
They are. Yeah.
Let's use this surreal landscape with floating islands. It does come up with some really good inspiration prompts.
These are nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So this is a bit better.
Wow. That's cleaner, though. Look at the heart at the bottom. I love this. Dude, can I get this app?
What we can do instead is instead of asking it to do a 9:16, we can ask it to do a 9:21 instead.
Oh, yes.
And it's kind of a hack.
That's hot. Oh, so you're actually asking that in the prompt. Got it.
Prompt itself. So the image
and the
will
prompt supports that as far as a parameter? Ooh.
Yes.
Wow. Whoa.
So, but we still have those red borders.
Yes.
So another thing, did you notice that for all these buttons, it added a kind
Oh,
of
the
a
gray, the translucent.
yes, the translucent material effect.
Oh,
Following the Apple guidelines. Because
Oh.
we asked it to like go through the web and follow some
Yes.
guidelines from the web.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you just see what we just did right there? So if you missed that, rewind back a little bit.
So
we cooked, told it to follow Apple's guidelines in the prompt in the composer view. And so when you hit the at web and tell it to follow Apple's design style guidelines, it goes and searches the web and gets examples and then pulls those in and just does it automatically. So we didn't have to do a painstaking task of like taking each section of the code. It kind of like did it for us, which is one of the magic parts of Composer, is that it knows a lot more about the code and then can modify more files at once. Wow, this is gorgeous.
yep.
Dude, what did you change?
So as I mentioned before, right? I didn't want the scale to fit, right? I wanted it to scale to fill.
Oh,
So it just makes it a bit
this is
bigger on the screen,
hot,
and
dude.
it's much better now.
Bro, MKBHD, we don't need your app anymore. Okay.
So there's another bug that we have found is
Okay.
that when I click on this image,
Composer
it
is a
does
beast.
not. It does not like.
Down below.
Yes, it's.
Okay.
There's something wrong with this implementation.
Oh, it doesn't dismiss it? Hold
The
on.
way it's trying to dismiss this. Where's this close button?
Yeah.
Show controls.
Whoa.
Oh, did the previews crashed?
Probably. Can you just build it and run it? I want to see this.
Let's try it again.
It's probably going to be smoother in the... I want to build this in my Vision Pro. Dude, can you make this a Vision Pro app? I got my Vision Pro right now. I want to be in the future.
I think it should work.
Dude, this would be hot. Like in the Vision Pro, just sit back, watch some movies, just in my head.
So
Oh, can we speak the prompt? Like,
we can. So we can use. Do you want to use the Whisper model for this, or just use the normal dictation?
I guess normal, which one's easier?
Of course, the SF, some recognizer, blah blah shit. So let's try that.
Yes.
So
Damn, that's
go,
hot.
Go back to Composer.
Wow.
Create a new Composer view.
Let's go. Dude, we're just keeping to cook. I love this image stuff. This is so fun.
Please add an option to speak to prompt.
That's so good. Oh, do we have to tell it we're using AI proxy? Or
So-
it already knows, huh?
It already knows. So
Wow.
what it does is uses the SF speech recognizer
Mm-hmm.
and
Deep Grand Grok. Yeah, for Whisper, yeah. Grok is easier to set up. I don't know if Grok is supported yet for AI proxy.
I'm not sure.
We can ping
either.
Lou. Yeah, Lou's really good. They're really good about adding stuff. They added that one image model that we asked for.
So it gave me some.
You're like, oh no, it just gave me sloppy code.
Yeah, it did.
Did you tell it about iOS 18?
So that's not the problem. The
Oh, no.
problem is if I go to this recognition request,
Hmm.
it's making it as a normal. It should be. No.
Tell it
We
to
are
fix
talking
itself.
about, yes,
Yeah,
fix
yeah.
it itself.
Yeah. Tell it what you saw, and you're like, bro,
Bro, it's,
think step by. No. Yeah, tell it what it did wrong so that it can fix it.
so I'll just take the whole, not the whole code because I know the problem is in the content way itself.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll
go back to
take this,
Composer and just tell it.
just use the edit. I am just so used to using
Really?
edit.
I
Yeah.
just tell Composer. Composer will do it for you. But
So-
that's a good point. Yeah. I'll let you cook. My bad.
Mutable.
I don't want to impose my coding ability. I don't really code. I compose.
Composition engineer.
Yeah. Oh my God. You just came up with a new name, the composition engineer. I'm going to tweet that right now. That's hot.
See, see, this was a change that I mentioned. So
Yes.
on the struct, it says self is mutable. So you have to make sure that it's a state variable.
Okay.
And then it will go back into the method that we have here on state listening. Then it had to make those 2-line changes. I could have done it myself, but we want
Mm-hmm.
Cursor to do everything for us while you just sit back and tap. So the previews crashed. I think the previews crashed because this SF thing is not. Oh, yes, I knew. The app crashed because it attempted to use the privacy sensitive data without a user's description. We need to add the NS speech recognition description key. So we go back to the fancy app, go back to our target, and then we have a bundle called as privacy and speech recognition. For no, not the system. What is this system admin? I have no idea. We are going to use the same.
Oh, right. Yes.
Please
that's right.
let us speak and cook.
Yes. So I am a composer engineer. I'm making this tweet right now. A composer. I have resigned from OpenAI and I'm officially a composer engineer.
So this is what we get. Like fancy, you would like to access speech recognition. Speech data from this app will be sent to Apple to process your request. And what you say is like, please let us speak and cook. We allow it. The app crashed. Why did it crash? Let's see what the problem is. So I'm not going to read through all of this because that's not my problem. I'll just copy all of this, go back to Composer and say that this is the, oops, too much of
Banger. Let's go. Dude, that was a banger tweet.
The error
If I go viral, I'm gonna give
I
you.
get.
Let's go.
So what did it say? I apologize for the error you're encountering. It seems that there's an issue with the audio configuration and it made it much better now.
Okay.
Now I will try to run it on the simulator again.
Oh, I gotta put.
Initializer must have a binding. Try it again. Oof. We have to use cursor.
Yes, sir.
How do I? Yes, just use this line. So sometimes when I'm working with cursor and Xcode, I kind of get into a point where sometimes I make changes in Xcode itself. Sometimes I make the changes in cursor. The idea is to like get to the code point as fast as possible. So now when I say something, then, oh, did you see?
Yeah, the microphone thing.
Yes.
Oh, wait, hold on. What?
Let's try that again. Futuristic cyberpunk wallpapers. Oops. Futuristic cyberpunk wallpapers. Yes.
Okay.
Why did it delete that? Okay.
That's so weird.
See, futuristic cyberpunk wallpapers. So when I click back, it removes that.
Huh.
Futuristic cyberpunk wallpapers.
Wowza.
So the speech to... The thing is that if I do not close it, then it will not close at all. It will just start speaking at the same rate that I'm speaking at. And it's much faster than working with Whisper, right? Look at the screen. It's
that's right.
So much better than working with any other model.
Wow.
like I have used SF speech recognizer before, but this one is fast enough. But
Do you,
like
do you
can
think they're
see-
doing something on the OS level?
So it's their own model, and it's not good. I'm telling you, it's not good
Oh,
because
I
when I
see.
say something that's something a little bit more complex, then it wouldn't work as well. It would right now. It is seems to be working very fine.
Let's go.
And I'm like kind of contradicting myself, but
Bruh.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, does it send the prompt for it? Let's see.
So neon lights in Tokyo.
Let's go. Yo.
So it did work.
Okay.
But the problem is that unless and until I stop the microphone, it won't work. And when I
I
click
see.
on the microphone, it would just remove all the prompt.
Well, let's go to Composer. Let's compose it.
So we go back to Composer.
I want to make it work
Yes.
almost like a walkie-talkie. Well, yeah, like let's make it fun and make it like a walkie-talkie. You know what I mean? If an 8-year-old can make a chat with Harry Potter app, I think we can make this fun.
So you go back to the Composer.
By the way, do you need a break or anything?
I think I do. It's
Okay.
It's almost 2 hours.
Yeah,
right?
we've been 2 hours. Yeah, Ref.
2 hours.
2 hours
We
and
were-
16 minutes we've been cooking. So
16. We were thinking of doing it for only 15 minutes.
Seriously, dude, you've been cooking. I mean, you've been on fire. Everyone's been kind of like joining in on the fun and like, yeah, we started this app from scratch, and we first did a little bit of an overview and just showing you the struggles of coding right now. It's a little rough around the edges when you're doing Swift. It's not easy at all. So it's really interesting how all of our different approaches and the different techniques. But dude, this is hot. This wallpaper app right now, it is absolute banger.
It's been working good.
Like, it's fast. We got the microphone added. We got the full page screen view. I mean, in like less than two, but like look at that. I love that view. I want that sauce
Yes.
right there. I want that. And it, not only, okay, so click it and you can flick it down too. This is my favorite.
Oh,
that's my favorite feature. The
There
fact that you
is
can,
kind of this
yes, that great, yeah.
because there's no native way to do this
I
for a
see.
full screen view.
Uh-huh.
So that's the only.
I see. They're
kind
trying to
of-
hack it. Yeah.
It's trying
I
to
would
hack it
change the
out.
gradient to translucent or something so that it would just look like it's, yeah.
You can, like when you're working with the SwiftUI view, you cannot kind of get what's behind the view.
Oh,
At
that's
least
right.
That's what I know. Yep.
Yeah. Or we can screenshot that. Yeah. Never mind. You didn't hear that from me. Nothing.
Do you want this app on the Vision Pro?
Oh, yeah. So how do you, okay, we should probably let you go to the bathroom or take a little break and stuff because we've been cooking for a little while. And yeah, I think we should probably just kind of wrap it up a little bit and so that we can, get on going because it's already 9:48 here in California.
I have to go back
Yeah.
to San Francisco now.
San Francisco? South.
Yeah.
Dang, bro. Yeah, that's crazy. So we have been cooking literally with iOS, Swift, on Cursor, using Cursor. My friend,
Rudrank.
Rudrank Riyam, coming all the way from India, my friends, to San Francisco, the Bay Area, literally, cooking all over the place, collecting awards left and right, little mini Grammy version type of things, but just for his app. And you won an award with Revenue Cat, and which allowed you kind of to be here in the Bay Area and collect the cash prize. And so I thought, hey, while you're in the area, let's go ahead and see if we can actually code together and like show me your workflow so that I've seen you do stuff in Cursor and it's like super nice and super fast and super friendly. And like, the hot reloading thing is kind of what took my, attention away. I was like, wow, this is really cool. How can we do this? And how can we get you on the live to get something going and show people what we do? And so what we've been doing is just kind of hanging out for a couple of hours, literally felt like 15 minutes. And we're showing you the workflows of how to set up some of these plugins. So we're going to have some of those resources down in the links and on X and also on YouTube in the descriptions for if you want to follow along. But you also have a blog as well that they can find you on. What's the name of your blog?
It's my name, rudrank.com.
Rudrank, Rudrank.
Yep.
So if you drank, drank.com.
Yes, that's what Americans used to sing to that.
Yes.
Are you drunk?
Are you drunk.com. Rudrank. Rudrank. We gotta say it the fancy way. That's how we show respect here. So Rudrank.com, you make sure when you go on there, he's gonna have all the different things you need to get set up for your cursor. The cursor rules, even the cursor rules that I was working with Luzel for Swift. So you have your different opinions there. And then the different plugins you need to do the hot reloading, which is what he's doing right now. So he's putting in the code into cursor, and without Xcode, it's just literally building right onto the device, super fast. This dude's just cooking right now. He's like, yo, while you're talking,
I'm just trying to, because now at the end of the live stream, the hot reloading is working well.
Yeah, exactly. we pre-warmed it. It's working well. So now he's like flying, and he's like, I mean, the app is already looking good. It's got the sauce. And so one of the keys unlocks, if you don't remember anything from here, is the fact that you can do a couple of things with Composer and or just with the chat in general. If you add the @web symbol, you're able to call any information in from the internet and bring that back in. So that was what we did here for the Apple style guideline in the Composer view. And that would basically fill out all the information for the Composer for like fixing the app to be fitting Apple's design standards. The other thing that we did was also add documentation manually. Because we were dealing with iOS 18 and some new APIs, we went to the Apple documentation or we went to a blog post, and then we added those types of things on cursor. So the very top right, there's a little gear there. That's what we hit. And there's the feature section where we added the information about those documentation. And then to call that, you just hit the little @ symbol and select that specific document and have some conversations. And that's where it's able to pull in that context. So those are like the two powerful unlocks there, along with the other types of things with the hot reloading, which we'll have in the details below. So a lot of things that I've learned today. Thank you, Rudrank, for coming down and be able to do that and share with the rest of us. It's just amazing to meet you and to be here with a rare opportunity. Otherwise it would have just been like a non-in-person stream. And for those who are following, go ahead.
It wouldn't have been as much as fun having an in-person. As you mentioned, I learned so much about this @web and @talk as well, which I wouldn't have learned myself. Maybe a bit later, but I'm glad I got to learn in production.
Learn
in public.
Yeah, and like for those who are watching, like we got the real crazy raw setup. So over here in our studio, we have basically my camera. We have like the screen for the monitor. We have Rudrank right here. We're actually in an office building and stuff, just cooking heavy. I got my lights set up. I mean, this is really crazy. I'm in a boardroom meeting, just kind of commandeered this boardroom. So, like these people don't even know I'm in here right now. It's like pretty late. It's about like 9 o'clock or something. And, I should be in bed already. So yeah, what else do you do on a Friday night other than just go cook and be here hanging out with you and my friends, and definitely appreciate that. So for those who have been tuning in, if you haven't had a chance to, make sure you subscribe. You can catch us on X. So you can catch us with our handles, or I think we're right here at RayFernando1337, at Rudrank Riyam down below. And this app is cooking. Are you going to post it for free, or are you going to $5 paywall?
Am I going to charge it? We should add the functionality.
Look at that. That's gorgeous.
Should we show ads?
Oh, sure.
So that you can download an SD version of the image.
Stay tuned. Make sure you follow us, because then we'll have some updates on how you can either get access to this app, pay $50 for ads or something, download SD images, and do all that stuff. We're actually making fun of MKBHD, who recently released an app.
A lot of respect for him, but
yeah,
I'm hoping that the next version of the app would be much better, and it takes a lot less permissions.
Exactly. So yeah, thank you for following along. We're just going to keep developing here and got to get some sleep, and we'll see you tomorrow on the next side. Who knows? I'm trying to work on a live stream schedule that actually can work with all the different sides of people who are people. We got people all around the world, from South Africa, India. We got people in Ukraine watching. We got people all the way in like Australia. I mean, worldwide. So I need to actually come up with a schedule. So if you want to drop a comment, I actually ask you this. Drop a comment either on X or on YouTube, wherever you are. Let me know what time zone you're in. Let me know when you want to see these lives, because I want to do more of these more consistently. So if I say every Friday I'm going to show up at 9 o'clock, I want to be there for you. And if I say every Sunday I'm going to show up at 8 a.m., I'll be there for you too. And so just trying to do more of these. I feel like I got to show you my journey of how I go about learning these types of things, because as I'm making my app I'll be able to get that to you. So without further ado, I think I'm going to just also give a shout out to my app that I'm working on. I'm working on a transcript app. And so you're able to take these videos for several hours, drag them into my app in less than 20 seconds, you have a full transcript of the whole thing. And people are loving it. So if you want to check it out, I have a core membership that I am offering for those people to get in. I only have about 7 more slots left. I've had a whole bunch of beta testers give me some results and feedback, so I'm fixing bugs there as well. But the people who are giving me some money, their features are the ones that are prioritized first. So make sure to hit me up in the DMs for that. I'm available on X at RayFernando1337. I'm trying to keep my little beta group really small, and for the people who are really serious to use these types of things. And so, yeah, Rudrank, thank you so much for showing up. Amazing. We totally crushed it.
One more thing.
One more thing.
I was just thinking, like, right now we only have 4 images.
Okay.
Like, just one last change. What I want is that make this function to load the images, like 12 images.
Okay.
To load 12 images.
Yes.
But make the request thrice instead of changing the number of output, because the number of output can only be less than 4.
Yeah.
Like,
you could tell it, remember the number of outputs is maxed out to 4.
So what it does now is that it would like create an array and then make the requests one by one
and collect them. Oh, that's hot.
So that's good enough. But the problem with that is that it would be making 3 requests. So we will be like, if one request is taking 3 seconds, then we have like a 9-second request, right?
Got it.
What I want is to like do is make the request concurrently and use the latest async await syntax.
Do you need to reference the web or anything like that, or is that?
So I think it's basic, so it did well on that.
Okay. Cool. So, sometimes I don't know, like we'll see.
And now because hot reloading is working well,
let's go.
It should directly make that change, and we should have 12 images.
Let's
with
go.
Hot reloading. Finally.
And tap the full screen. Let's go. Let's go.
That works.
Sheesh.
So getting that hot reloading, the thing about hot reloading is that it still works well and when you make little changes.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't work well when you're making a lot of bigger changes at once. So that's the one limitation that I feel is there. But if you want to like make the whole use out of it, then you can still work with it and use previews as a byproduct or just run the app again.
Got it. Wow, that looks amazing. Holy smokes, this is really great.
So it took the exact same time that I had to take for like 4 images. So now we can make it take 5 requests or 10 requests as well.
Got it. That's gorgeous. Those are really nice wallpapers. I mean, would you install one of those? Let's go to
I love this cherry blossom one.
Yeah. Wow. Whoa.
Look at them.
And I like you have a lot of varieties in these types of things.
Exactly.
Gorgeous. Dude, you just made a better wallpaper app. Like you can make one for moods. No, dude. Yeah, we need to make one for weather. Like, orange, bro. Orange, come on. Stop.
It's actually orange and not like
Let's
orange.
Go. Yeah. Like just do orange wallpaper.
What's this?
Oh,
Oh man.
I mean, that's kind of fire. Like if you have an app placed on top of it, you could just make some, now how you can arrange apps custom. You just have some apps looking like a body. Orange and apples. Strawberries. Okay, that's real.
Okay, that's the actual one.
Wow.
Yep. Do you have some last prompt for me, Ray?
I don't know. You could say, let's see, Patagonia.
What's the spelling?
Patagonia.
Pata.
Yeah.
N.
Oh, there you go. That one. Patagonia. Yeah, landscape or something. Oh, that's gorgeous.
Wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You must see. If you have not been to Patagonia right there, you have to see. This is one of your places to travel in the world. Yep. Literally glaciers, just exactly like that. This is exactly what it looks like. Yeah, that's, Torres del Paine. Yes, beautiful. That's one of my favorite photos I have is from that place and actually won the shot on iPhone thing. So, yeah. Gorgeous.
Perfect.
Yes. What a great way to end the stream. So, Yeah, thank you so much, man. I'm looking forward to getting this on my Vision Pro in the future, and looking forward to dropping $100 on your app. So I think this is going to be well
Thank you
worth
so much. That would help me a lot.
Yes. So if you're interested, definitely find us below on the socials. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Totally crushed this stream. We 2 hours and 30 minutes. Well deserved. Cool, man. So have a great day. Shout outs to anything, any last minute notes from you at all?
I think it was fun in the beginning, not getting to set up the way that I wanted, but I'm glad that in the end it did work the way that I wanted it to work.
Exactly.
Especially with the changes that I'm making, and it's like actually hot reloading. So I'm happy.
Yes, yeah. It took a little setup, but that's just kind of the way things are. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to sign off for tonight, and we'll see you on the other side. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for everyone who's been participating, giving the likes. Make sure you reshare this with a friend and tell someone else about it. That's how we're going to keep building every night. So take it easy, folks, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.